Yeah, no worries.
Okay, so excuse any background noise you might hear because I'll be working on trying to get my picture up. It's a bit not good, not being able to see who you're talking to.
No worries. You take your time. You take your time.
Well, right. So anyway, welcome to my little podcast, Real Talk Entertainment. And I've been going purely and simply because of the lockdown. I'm a
Yes.
amateur actor, and a show got.
Yes, actually, I am as well.
Yeah, really? Okay. Yeah, so I was working on
Yes.
a production when the COVID hit. So I decided to talk to some of the cast members and what have you, and they agreed to talk
Yep.
to me. So I put this podcast together, and I've been talking to people from all over the world since. It's been great, and obviously you
Oh,
popped
is
up.
it? Do you know what? Just like connecting with people. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's all about the connection. So obviously, when I saw your profile pop up, I thought, there we go. There's another one for me to
Oh,
talk to, and thankfully and gladly you accepted. So here we are.
yes. No, Yes. No, I'm really interested in the sense that anything to do with the kind of the pageant area I'm doing at the moment, and just generally trying to get into the kind of that presenting industry. I think is quite a quite a nice topic to talk about, because it's a little bit something different as well. I'm not sure if you've had someone that's actually like competed in pageants talk to you before and that sort of thing. So yeah, it's quite like I could just talk really just about what I do at Miss Wales. Obviously because of COVID the final didn't go through, so that's now resumed until 2021, but it's a very charitable based type of competition and that sort of thing. So yeah, there's a lot I can talk to you about and that sort of thing. Yeah.
Yes, no, that's great because yes, no, you are my first. I've never spoken to anybody from your industry before, so you are the first. So I'm really
Yeah.
glad about that. And I suppose the first thing I wanted to ask you was regarding back in the day when I was growing up, because I'm quite old now. I'm in my 50s. I'll be honest. You can't see me, but I am. Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
And when I was growing up, it was a regular thing on television, and for a number of years
Yes.
now, it hasn't been. Is that a good thing for you or a bad thing? Do you see it as?
Well, I think it was it was broadcast, in kind of for all the wrong reasons in a way. I think there's been documentaries that have come out now, quite recently, just how it was portrayed that the women would go through, so many extreme beauty measures to try and like live up to a standard. I think there was the controversy with having, people that are Black being queens and that sort of thing. It didn't have the best light looked at for just the looks, whereas now I think that we keep it a little bit more low key. Obviously when you compete for Miss World, I think that's broadcasted. Well, it was broadcast on television, but that's a very big show. But I think they try and keep it a little bit more low key now, in the sense that it's more charitable based. We empower women instead of being seen as being judged constantly for the way we look, and not kind of what's there in our hearts instead. So I think from a media point of view, it's kind of been seen as more of a negative thing. Obviously that a lot of the American kind of what they called like toddlers, tiaras and that sort of thing, where they make up young girls with loads of makeup and the eyelashes and everything, and I think that was broadcast in the wrong direction as well. So I think it's a little bit of a touchy one when it comes to pageant, because I think a lot of people have opinions on it, if that makes sense.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I have seen that. I think it's called Toddlers in Tiaras, isn't it? As you said. Yes, I have seen that a couple of times myself. Yes. But as you said, it is charity based, and does it help help you, as in further your career doing this? Does it open other avenues for you?
What was that? Sorry, I've missed that last bit.
No, I said that being part of the pageant, does it tend to open doors in other areas for you?
For me,
Yes, personally.
yes, I feel that I've had a little bit more exposure and like recognition, because it's not like the average thing. I think a lot of people don't really know that Miss Wales is an actual competition, so it's quite a big achievement to become a finalist, and hopefully, fingers crossed, I get the crowned and that sort of thing. But I think because I want to get into television industry, I think it's really built my confidence in the sense that I can kind of speak to anyone without getting shy, and I'm only 19, so it's it's open avenues in that way. I've recently just got a confirmation that I've been accepted into a talent agency as well, based in London, and they were very, very thought that Miss Wales was kind of a very big aspect of me and who I'm about. So I think in that sense, it's just kind of released that little bit more exposure, really, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely. As I was looking through your profile earlier, it struck me that there's quite a bit that you've got going on at this present moment. I mean, you've touched on it earlier with some presenting that you were doing, and some of it is actually quite big for Sky TV and the likes, and you're currently in the middle of recording now, are you?
I haven't done anything for Sky TV as such. I'm actually in university, so I'm almost kind of working my way there. But yeah, I'm trying to get experience on the side, but I'm waiting to really graduate, so I've kind of got that degree under my wing to start working for like the bigger companies. Yeah.
Okay, I see. I must have got that a little bit wrong then, but from what I mean, because obviously there's a few pictures on your profile there saying that you've been linked to companies such as that, the ITV and Sky. I thought that so have you had any experience with them as such as yet? I mean, I know you say you're at university, but are you hopeful that they're looking at you for when you graduate?
Yeah, so even like work experience, even before I graduate, like I'm happy to work on the side. When I was about 17, I did put myself forward to be a young digital journalist, and I got down to the final 14 of 1,000 applicants. So I've kind of had a little bit of a grasp for what ITV kind of has to offer, sorry, and I've done kind of the interview stage and present in front of a group of people, a subject. It was at the time, it was like a subject that's current and something, a subject of interest, so I had to present in front of ITV for industry professionals. So I've kind of got a bit of a glance of different parts of the television industry. I've also done a lot of extra work, and I'm an actress myself, so I was in a children's program when I was younger, so I've been on set. I kind of know what to expect. It's just kind of getting that more experience when throughout my uni years and when I graduate. So yeah.
So what is it exactly about the presenting that appeals to you?
Just I love like interacting with people, and meeting new people and speaking to new people and speaking about subjects that I might not personally know much about. Also kind of, yeah, I just love the engagement, if that makes sense. I just kind of, and I love to speak, and I got a lot of confidence. So I think if you've got confidence, use it in the right way. So if I'm confident speaking to people, I want to kind of use that to my advantage. And I know presenting is all about showcasing that. And if it's television presenting, you could be speaking to big audiences, or like a Good Morning Britain this morning, and that's like the ultimate goal. Yeah.
Right. Okay. I see. Very interesting. I like where you're going. So what is it you're actually studying at university? Is it to do with the presenting, or is it to do with engaging with people of any description?
So when I was looking to apply for university, I don't actually think there's a presenting course. I think like for an actual university degree course, but I think you can do you can pay to do a course outside of uni just based on presenting. So I kind of thought to myself, right, to kind of broaden my imagination and kind of speak to other sectors, to do television and radio production for university. So that almost covers a lot of aspects then. So that's potentially being an editor, director, sound checker, camera operator. I could go as a runner and work my way up, or kind of get a job, down the more directing side, which I'm quite keen about, in some sense. But presenting's the most ideal situation for me. But I'm quite optimistic, so I would consider going maybe down the route of being behind the camera, not just in front. So I'm based in Media City, in Manchester, so I'm kind of in the heart of it. My uni's right next to ITV, BBC, so I couldn't really be in a better environment.
Right, yeah. So how does the pageant fit in with that? I mean, are you juggling the university with the pageant, and how much rehearsal goes into that sort of thing, doing the pageant alongside with the study?
So I would say it's at the start of the year, until March, with the whole lockdown measures coming in and that sort of thing. It was quite fast paced, in the sense that I had to go and do fundraising events. I have to get a sponsorship, so I'm sponsored by Cardiff Beauty Clinic, where I'm a brand ambassador for them. We had a Christmas party, everything, and we do like a walk around Cardiff Bay in heels where we raise money again. We've got our Miss Wales tops on. So yeah, in the sense that like they try and engage us as groups to do charity funds and that sort of thing. So I'd say at the start of the year, until about March time, it was quite fast paced. But because of COVID now and the uncertainty of like when the final's actually going to be, I have no idea when the date is going to be for next year. But because of those measures and theatres being closed to actually be on stage, is kind of, we're just waiting on information. But in terms of training, I have to learn how to walk a certain way. I also have been in contact with Miss Universe Great Britain, which is a woman called Emma Jenkins. So she has almost mentored me in the sense of what my final dress should look like, how I should do my makeup. We have interviews before we go on stage, also kind of going through like what I should say on my interview. Basically, I get mentored throughout the way, so there's quite a bit that goes into it. You also have a public vote, so my name is live on the Miss Wales website, where anyone can vote, so that also contributes to the final. So yeah, there's quite a bit to go with it, but I think I've managed okay so far. So hopefully we get an answer to when it's actually going to take place next year.
Yes. So regarding, going back to something you were saying earlier on about makeup and things like that, do you have to I mean, would you have to have a special type of makeup, more expensive, should we say, or a better brand, just to bring out your best features, to make sure you're as good as you can be? Or could you go to I don't know, a clinic or somewhere and just pick up what you like?
They don't like specify like that we have to have like the most high-end brand when it comes to makeup, but it's more or less as natural as possible. So just what they say when it comes to makeup is just something that enhance your features. instead of, you know, having like the blocked eyebrows and that sort of thing, and like you know, a foundation that doesn't match your skin. They don't really recommend any fake tan as such, or where you know, you don't look natural. So yeah, they kind of want you to be your natural self as possible. So whether that's, you know, kind of through your personality and through your looks, you know, they really prominent about staying natural and not being too fake. Or you can't have your hair dyed, your hair got to be your natural colour. And to compete for the final, you can't be married, you can't have had a baby, and you have to be up to 24, so you can't be over the age of 24 to compete.
Oh wow. Okay. Well, I've learned something there. I didn't realise that was part
Yeah.
of it. So I'm going to ask a bit of a question now. This is probably going to be a little bit taboo to a lot of people, but I feel I have to ask. In regards, I mean, you're a very beautiful lady. I'll say that first.
Thank you.
So, do you find that people will look at you before they see you for who you are, or do you have to work hard at getting to people to take you seriously because they're just looking at how you look, or is it easy for you now you've managed to get around that? Am I making sense with that?
Yeah, no, I get what you mean. I think we get underestimated when it comes to actually hearing the name pageant and say we're pageant girls, that they think, you know, we could be classed as, you know, not very bright, and all it is about our looks and how we dress and how we appear. But I think what they're trying to do in the forefront of, you know, the society today and how we should act today is that we should be an inspiration for young women. We should also just be an inspiration for girls in general, because, you know, it's not about the looks. You know, everyone looks different, you know, in the final. We're all different age groups, we all got different colour hair, colour skin, we're all kind of varying ages in different ways. So the fact that I raise money for charity is also proven to the fact that I'm not here, you know, looking beautiful. You know, I'm here for a purpose, and that's why Miss Wales have their own charity, and Miss World in general, called Beauty with a Purpose. So all our funds go into that scheme, and that helps deprived children across the world that don't have, you know, kind of the privileged upbringing, and, you know, they're in a poverty state. So all our funds go into that pot. So, you know, as much as, you know, we can class ourselves as beautiful, we also have a purpose to make a difference. Yeah, and I would say, in the sense of, at the start I did feel quite judged, because I feel like people aren't really educated in the pageant world, whereas because I'm a part of it now, I know what it's about. I think people have the stamina that, you know, I put myself forward for this because I think I'm stunning or something like that. I put myself forward for it because of the purpose behind it, the charities behind it, and, you know, just to make friends really, and engage with new people. So yeah.
Right.
Like
Okay.
like-minded women as well.
Yes. I mean, obviously there's going to be the people that see things like miscongeniality and think of things like that. Obviously that's going to be the obvious kind of link, but so in reality, in the real world, what would the day of a pageant be like for you? I mean, have you got special diets and things like that you have to do, and how do you keep yourself trim and in shape?
When it comes to like diet and working out, we're just recommended to look after ourselves and, you know, listen to our bodies. But, you know, we are recommended that, you know, we do stay in shape and look presentable, because, you know, to an extent we have to kind of live to a standard where, you know, we are, but they accept all shapes and sizes, but, you know, we just have to, I don't know how to explain it in a sense. Yeah, we do kind of have to keep fit as well, if that makes sense. You know, there's no judgment in the sense, you know, about body types and that sort of thing, but we are kind of recommended eat well, you know, healthy body, healthy mind sort of motto.
Yeah. So how would a budding Miss Wales who's someone who's looking at you as inspiration, how would they go about getting into that field themselves?
So it's the system where you can apply yourself on the Miss Wales website. So I don't think it will be live next year because the 2020 finalists have now run into 2021. But like if I was to explain to, you know, to a girl that's thinking about it, I'll be honest, I've gone through confident, just a little bit of confident issues. I haven't really, you know, there's been times where I haven't really believed in myself or thought that I can do it. At the time I was doing my A levels as well, so I was having, you know, kind of stresses from both ends, and, you know, trying to do everything I can, and, you know, meeting up to sorry, what's the word, trying to do everything I can, and also try and maintain being a Miss Wales finalist, maintain my education. You know, at the time I was applying for university, so I was waiting for offers. So a lot was going on for me at the time. So I almost doubted myself. So if I was to have advice for a girl that's thinking about doing it, I think I would just say, like, you've got to love yourself before anyone else can love you. That's such a true saying, because, you know, I've gone through the issues of not feeling, you know, confident, and I have compared myself to the other girls on the competition. But if I look back at, you know, the months that have gone by of me actually being in the competition, I'm grateful more than anything, because I just think it's building me into the character, into the person I am today. So I just think, yeah, you just got to have confidence in yourself.
Right, okay. So do you think then that with your acting, your you know, the acting you've done, the extras and the amateur drama acts, do you think it's helped you in the pageant field?
100%. I've acted since the age of 4, so I started auditioning when I was around 7 to 8, in and around the UK. So I used to go out on a monthly basis, for probably about 2 times in a month. I'd travel up to London to audition. You know, I'd be a nervous wreck, but I honestly think, you know, the auditions where I have to stand in front of, you know, casting directors, and they just say, okay, show me what you got. And I've had to improvise on the spot as like an 8-year-old. Do you know what I mean? I think it's really given me thick skin, because initially when I started acting and I'd go to auditions and I wouldn't hear back, I used to cry. I used to think, why haven't I heard anything? I tried my best. And now I've realised, you know, I can deal with rejection. And then, you know, if something is, if I've if I've impressed someone, and I've got into something, I appreciate it a lot more. So I feel like acting in general, from doing it from a young age, from like stagecoach to doing television and film acting, I've really learned that I can put myself out my comfort zone. And I think in life you have to do that, and you have to take risks to be successful and to build confidence in yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. So in regards to that, then, so when you're on stage, and you know, everybody on acting and whatever, when you're on stage, you have those little things where you're looking at the audience. Do you have something that you do, a little ritual you have, that gives you the confidence to go out there and do what you do and feel confident and comfortable being there, being on show to everybody?
I think I just kind of give myself a little pep talk. I like to kind of, I don't like fuss before I go on stage, or I don't like fuss before I go into an audition. That's why I say, for instance, I'm going to an audition, I make sure I'm extra early, just so I have that time to unwind if I need to read over a script. Or say if I'm going to an audition, I'll make sure I go to like a coffee shop before, just so I'm in like a relaxed environment. I just don't, I'd say I would just make sure I'm not rushed, so I have that time. Come have a little talk to myself and just say, you know, you're here for a reason. You've got to show them what you've got. And I find, you know, initially sometimes my nerves are there, and, you know, I can feel my heart pumping, but, you know, I always feel like I settle down then, and then I really start to enjoy it.
Yeah, okay. So okay, I'm not saying by any stretch of imagination that you won't win, because I truly believe you will, and I hope you do. But
Oh, thank
Um,
you.
in second place, third place of a pageant, um, after the event, you wouldn't hear much of that person. Do you know what happens to those people? Do they are they in a position, in a similar position to the person who's won, enabling them to progress in another area, or are they just then forgotten about and drifted out into the wilderness?
No, so what I'd say is, well, hopefully the whole idea of it is that it gives you confidence to, every girl's interested in a different sector, whereas like with me, it's kind of TV. Other girls want to be doctors, or they want to be lawyers, or, they want to be, they're interested in all different things. So pageant, I think the forefront of it is just to make all girls feel empowered and confident, and that's kind of the end goal with it. But as finalists, I'm probably one of the youngest contestants, but as you said, you can go into the final at the age of 24. So being a Miss Wales 2020 finalist to 2021 finalist, I can then reapply for Miss Wales in 2022, 2024, because they say to the girls that, it wasn't, maybe you weren't ready this year, but there's no reason why you won't be ready next year or 3 years time. So I'm glad I've come into it younger, because I feel like by the time I'm, say, 21, if I have this confidence now, and I'm confident to speak to people and to represent myself as an individual, who knows what can happen, and how I can be in 3 years time. So I kind of look at it like that as well. So if I don't win, I'll have in my back of my mind, that doesn't mean I can't win in 3 years time.
Exactly, absolutely. Thank you for that. That's brilliant. So how can people get hold of you to vote for you? How would anybody listening to this pick up the phone, get on the website and vote for you? How is that?
So you can track me on the website, and my public vote is on there. I've actually forgotten how many votes I've had. I looked on the website for a while, but I think it's about 70 something at the moment, or 60. I'm not too sure. It's between that sector, but you have to. There's like you have to, in quotation marks, it's like Chloe. I think it's like Chloe 10 or something, and you text it to a number, and then it's an automatic vote that goes onto the website, if that makes sense. So you would text Chloe to 6443 or something, and then it's automated straight on to the website then as a public vote. So it's free to do, there's no cost, there's no charges, and there's terms and conditions. I think it's only just a policy, but so you just text my name to 6443, say, and then it just goes live onto the website then as a public vote. And then your public vote, I think you have a little bit of a head start then for the pageant itself. I think it's only about 3-4 points advantage, which isn't too much, but it kind of gives you that edge on the girls before you even start.
Okay, well, you plug away then, because listen, to make that happen for you. Yeah, so you say you haven't got a date for the actual pageant because of COVID. The date isn't set.
Yeah.
Is that right? So
confirmed, no.
Right, excuse me. So how are you staying focused to make sure that when it's announced you're going to be ready?
I think that's the thing. I don't think I'll ever be ready. that's brutally honest. So they have to let us know a bit in advance. So I know then I got to get my dress sorted. I got to get my walk sorted. If I got to get my hair sorted, I got to act in a matter of urgency. But to be brutally honest, I don't think I'll ever be prepared to do this type of competition, because, as much as I say I'm prepared, on the actual day, I'm not sure how I'm going to talk in my interview. I don't know if something can go wrong with my whole look. Yeah, that's the bottom line.
have you watched any previous winners along the line to sort of get any tips, or is it all based on the Miss Universe that you've spoken to and her mentoring?
Well, I have taken a lot of advice from Emma Jenkins, Miss Universe Great Britain. We've had, personal conversations via Zoom like this, and I actually saw her win the crown. And obviously, because she was representing Great Britain, she was from Wales. So I think it kind of showed to us Miss Wales girls that someone from Wales can win Miss Great Britain as well, and that doesn't mean then you can't win Miss World, which is a massive competition. So I've just taken tips from her. I think the main thing she said to me is keep self-promoting. Keep getting myself out there. If I want to do presenting, maybe do Instagram lives, or potentially my own podcast one day, speaking to girls, the demographic of my age. So who knows? I think for me it's just getting a little bit more confidence to feel confident enough to broadcast it on my social media, because I think I would say in this day and age, for girls my age, in their teenage years, becoming adults, social media is everyone's life, and every single person judges in different ways, whether it's in a positive manner, a negative manner. So I think people get nervous to update something about their life. They're like, what would people think? So I think I'm still trying to break through that barrier myself, because I still get a bit of anxiety if I'm going to put a post up about my sponsorship and then thinking, oh, she thinks she's the next influencer now. So I think it's just, from a mental point of view, I think I just need to take on that advice and use self-promotion, purely for myself, for my future, so yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. No, definitely. You do you, and let everybody else see you, and then I'm sure you're going to be a success. I'm absolutely convinced of it, because
Thank you. And the thing is as well, I think oh, thank you.
Yeah, go on, carry on. You was going to say something. You carry on. I'll just sit here and listen to you.
No problem. I was just going to say, I think whatever you do, you're going to be judged for it anyway. So I think it's so true when people say, do what makes you happy, and do what pleases you. Who cares what anyone else thinks? And I think I'm starting to really understand that now.
Yes, I mean it's definitely true. If you worry about what everybody else thinks, you wouldn't do anything, because there'd always be someone. But as long as you surround yourself with positive, you're gonna hear all the right noises, and it will just give you that boost. So yes, absolutely, I can totally understand and totally agree with that. So we'll move on slightly to your life in general. So when you're not busy studying, when you're not doing anything to do with the pageant, how do you relax?
Good question. I've always been artistic. So during lockdown, I painted a portrait of my dog, and I did A-level art. So I'm quite gifted in a creative matter. So I think I take time to unwind, whether I'm like painting or something like that, or I also I'm just during the lockdown I was doing like live workouts and that sort of thing, so I enjoy exercising. I've danced since I was young as well, and yeah, just spending time with friends and family. I'm in a new relationship as well, so I love spending time with my partner. So all in all, I think in terms of my social life, I either kind of go down my creative side, or I'd like to socialize with like friends and family.
So yeah, you mentioned there you're in a new relationship. How is your partner coping with what you do? Is he supportive of that? What you're gonna do with the pageant?
Yes, I mean,
yes.
Yeah, he is supportive. we weren't together when I actually became a finalist, so that whole kind of, he didn't, you know, see me go through the process of being interviewed to get to become a finalist and that sort of thing. But if anything, he's just really proud and he thinks it's a really good achievement. And you know, he always says like my Miss Wales girlfriends and that sort of thing. So yeah, it's a nice thing.
Yeah. I can hear it now. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, so like music, for example, do you like listen to music? Do you like music? And what sort of music do you like if you do?
Yeah.
What would you listen to normally?
I would actually say I have a little bit of like a typical boys style music at the moment. I'm into kind of like the rap, hip hop side of things. Never really been into pop and what's in the charts, but I've really been into kind of like urban music, pop, rap, and R&B. Kind of the old school R&B you can't go wrong with. So I could listen to that all day, all night long. Yeah.
Yes, right. So I mean, at this stage, I would normally ask people for like a quick fire 5 questions. So if you don't have any objections, I'll just bang a few questions at you. So what is your favorite food?
What was that last bit? Sorry.
Yeah, what is your favorite food? If you're going to go and eat out, what would you order?
I would probably just go for like a classic arrabbiata, like Italian food, so like spicy tomato pasta. I don't know, it's a go-to. You can never go wrong with that.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Good. And favorite actor or actress? Have you got a favorite?
Oh, Anne Hathaway.
Anne
And I
Hathaway.
think I think as soon as she did Les Mis, oh, I think she got my heart forever.
Right. And do you have a pet? Do you have a
I
pet?
have 3 dogs.
3 dogs.
So I have a big golden retriever called Poppy.
Mm-hmm.
And I have 2 Shih Tzus, a black and white one and a white Shih Tzu. Yeah, Poppy's doing so well. She's 15, and she looks about 8 years old. She looks really good for her age, Poppy. Yeah.
Yes. I know golden retrievers too well. Yes. What else have we got? So do you like nature, countrysides, or are you more of a towny person?
I'd say town. I just think I like a big city, bright lights, a lot going on. I just don't. And unless I'm, you know, about to think about getting a pension, you know, I don't know. People get them quite early these days. Sorry, if I'm thinking of retiring, maybe in maybe in the countryside, perhaps if I want a quiet life. But as of now, I'm ready to go in a big city. So.
Fair enough. Yeah, that's fair enough point. So okay, so I'll leave that one there, and then so where else can we go? So have you travelled anywhere outside of the UK? Have you been anywhere abroad and had any nice holidays anywhere? And
Yeah, I've travelled in and around Europe, so Spain, Greece, all that sort of thing, like as those family holidays. So, like we're not really like a family that like to go skiing and all in the cold. I have been to Lapland though, so I've met the real Father Christmas, if anyone asks. But I've I'd say my favourite holiday is oh my gosh, it's about 2 years ago. I went to Florida, so I did Disney, Universal. Yeah, so we did 2 weeks, the whole family, so it's about 14 of us, includes like my nana and grandpa, took us to Florida, so experiencing America for the first time. I loved it.
Brilliant. I've never been to America, so I'm very envious. Must add that. So yeah.
On the bucket list.
Yes, indeed it is. Talking of that, have you got one? And if you have, how are you getting on with that? A bucket list, that is. Have you made a bucket list for yourself?
What's up? Um, I've always wanted to go to Dubai. That's always
Yeah.
been on my bucket list.
Mhm.
But I just think instead of like a bucket list, I think I've always just kind of got more like, what's the word? Just like, I set goals for myself as well. So I've just said to myself, I want to be successful, want to be happy. I want to be, you know what, I've said my bucket list is to live abroad as well, if I'm honest. I think I don't want to just base myself in the UK. I think there's a big world out there. So,
Mhm.
on my bucket list is to travel and to maybe settle down in a different country. Who knows?
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. That's good. That's good. And so how is that looking? Is it looking likely that you will achieve your goals?
I'd like to think so. I think, for a 19-year-old, I think I've come a long way already. So I'm proud of my achievements, and I think it can only go up from here. And I think I'm a fighter as well. So like I'm quite strong-minded, and I think when I set my mindset to something, I will do it. And my mum's always said, both me and my sister have always wanted to know what we want to do in life. So I think, my mum said to me, like, I didn't know what I wanted to do at 19. She said, I'm still kind of learning what I want to do, what's meant for me in life. So I think the fact that I've kind of grasped what I want to do already is, yeah, I think is a goal in itself. So
It's good to hear. Good to hear. Well, I think we've come to the end. So thank you ever so much
uh,
for your time. It's been
thank
absolute
you.
pleasure. And good luck. And I will plug you as often as I can because I wish you all the best and I hope you're successful.
Oh, thank you so much.
And
And you with your podcasts and everything like that as well. I think that's an amazing achievement. So yeah, all the best with that for you as well.
thank you very much. Thank you. You take
No
care,
worries.
and I will be thinking of you
And
when
you.
when I hear about this pageant next year.
Oh, fabulous. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Take care now. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.